Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
All right, good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. This is the morning spring on Western Spring Television. And what we do here is to have conversation about everything that has to do with this nation. Femi Ojo is my name. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you at this midweek edition of the program. Usually we look at the headlines, firstly on the program, juicy headlines from our major dailies. Then we get talking about these issues. This is what we do here at this time. Of course, with Evelyn. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Very well. How do you do too?
I'm blessed, and we thank
all
God
right.
for
Good to
life.
know.
My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, and of course, I'm joining Femi to welcome you to another beautiful edition on a Morning Spring.
Right.
You know that we have to talk about matters that concern us as a country, matters that concern you and I, so that we can have deeper understanding, better perspectives, and be able to make informed choices and decisions. Do not go anywhere, do not miss any part, because today's edition, it promises to be enlightening, educative,
Right.
and of course, eye-opening.
Of course. We'll take this quick break right now. When we come back, the papers are ready. So if you are ready, we are as well. Time is now. Right. We'll be starting the headline segment from the Punch newspaper. Marketers plan petrol imports to bridge shortfall. Right, shortfall. That sounds like a term that has been given a new meaning recently, especially by the NNPCL. Marketers plan petrol imports to bridge shortfall. Now, with a rider, Dangote not producing enough to meet domestic demand currently, and dealers claim Ipman loads NNPCL PMI. Again, Dangote not producing enough to meet domestic demand currently, and dealers claim and Ipman loads rather NNPCL PMI. And below that, we have here, right, the inauguration of the PDP governorship campaign in Ondo State and presentation of the party's flag to the gubernatorial candidate, governorship candidate, Bola Ajayi in Akure on Tuesday. And of course, the crowd of supporters of the party at the rally and the PDP national leaders, well, the state governors at the same rally. Well, the next part talk about the very left state of contact rather is Ondo State be remaining in power, or the PDP will take charge, or any other political party there as well. When this was going on yesterday, somebody make it the point on social media to say they hope those governors and the leaders in Akure yesterday, the last time they were seen in Akure will not be the last time, they will be showing the support, especially with what happened in Edo State, where the APC, high and mighty, they were in Edo State throughout the election period. And virtually the leaders of the PDP were really nowhere to be found, maybe apart from Amadou Fintiri. These are some of the issues as well. But another school of thought will say, we just hope these leaders will always come around, to see to the things that have to do with the people with this kind of strength and vigor. And of course, this camaraderie they show when it comes to election. Can you please do that? When it has to do with security, come together with that strength and speed. When it has to do with the economy, come together comparative advantage and advantages of each state come together to do this as well. It should not just be when you are preparing to wrest power or to cement power wherever you are. You see them donning agbada here and there, baseball cap here and there, everybody throwing, some words in and out. So when the politics are over, let governance begin. All right, below that, high petrol price pushes inflation to 32.7%. Report. And Oyon Dam, anxiety grips Ogun community over fresh flooding. I wouldn't say more than that. Naira among worst performing currencies. World Bank. I'm not sure we need the World Bank to tell us that. It's obvious. I don't need a degree in economics to know that. And here, fresh crises hit rivers as pro-Fubra Wiki lawmakers clash. I think it's turning to the time that I think the rest of the country are trying to move on from these, because it's like, if this is what you guys want to do with your lives every day, please spare us. We have another thing to do. And PDP crisis, Damagum gets reprieve, lit Ondo campaign. Okay. And government hires sons for Lagos Calabar Highway suit. Who's going to pay for that? Okay, maybe it's part of the, I'm sure they will have factored it into the cost of that particular project. Hiring senior advocates of Nigerians, to defend the project when people come with the suit. And lastly, federal government plans cash transfer for 20 million poor Nigerians. Here we go again. Familiar, Evelyn?
Yeah, of course. But then, it is what it is in this part of the world.
20 million.
20 million for
Cash
Nigerians.
transfer.
We've actually had that. It rings a bell, especially with the previous administration, and we know what it led to, especially with the ministry that handled that particular exercise. Exactly. So we hope we will not have a repeat of this, even though a lot of people that I know that are closer to people that I know, actually got
You've
that
never
transfer.
had anybody around you.
Exactly, that got that transfer.
You are from the richie, maybe. That's why, You remember a time where bundles, worth of money was put on the table and people will line up, at least as we saw in the picture, to come and collect. Until now, we don't know how that money was spent. All we saw was suspension of the minister that took over. And then there was a threat of a court proceedings against Umar Farouk, Sadia Umar Farouk, the minister in charge at the time under Buhari. Until now, nothing has happened. And then we are going, when I mean we, the federal government are saying 20 million Nigerians should prepare to have transfer of cash done to them.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right. There you go.
All right, from the Punch newspaper this morning, we move on to Daily Trust newspaper. Daily Trust newspaper for today. Let's see what it has for us. Daily Trust, of course, PDP crisis. You can see the bold big caption there. Damagum may step down next week. Aggrieved members told to withdraw court cases. Governors ask factional leader to vacate office, lift suspension. So we can't say that we have a resolution in the PDP at this point, at least to some extent. The crisis.
They have resolution.
Okay, they have. Thank you for that. I'm not part of the PDP. They've been able to sheath their swords and resolve the crisis, the lingering crisis in the People's Democratic Party, because a lot of people feared an implosion might happen from that party. Naira plunges to 1,700 Naira to a dollar at parallel market. That's going, on the coast or on the way to 2,000 Naira. This is not on the way to Damascus right now. On the way to 2,000 Naira, and we hope we do not get there. Cholera kills...
Where are we currently?
1,700. That's what the paper reported this morning.
No, I just want to be sure. Because of that, your prayer, so that you know the intensity of what you have to put, so that we don't get there.
Cholera kills 45 in Kano. Petrol price hikes push inflation to 32.7%. Power grid collapses twice in 24 hours as restoration efforts fall. Uh, we had that happen yesterday, and no, day before yesterday, and yesterday we had another one
The
within
national
24
grid thing.
within 24 hours
On ICU.
collapsing.
Mm.
And top corner NNPP Group 6 Governor Yusuf's independence from Kwankwaso. Dangote Ipman meeting fails to hold. And lastly, from Daily Trust, passengers stranded as airlines cut domestic flights. That will be all from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right. We head straight to the Guardian newspaper, the Guardian for today. World Food Day. Right. Inflation weary Nigerians begging, borrowing for survival. World Food Day. They set aside for food, okay, for the foodie, and for everyone. Anybody alive should be eating. But you can never say never. Maybe there are some persons who live on other things. But then, World Food Day, inflation weary Nigerians begging and borrowing for survival. And below that, you see very interesting statistics here. The picture of a meter, a gauge, E, denoting the extreme, possibly nothing part, and the F for maybe the halves, more like the halves and the have not rather, and then the stomach being in the middle, and you see the meter, the gauge there towards nothing, almost towards nothing, the fork and the knife as well. By the way, by the conservative estimate of the national average cost of a healthy diet of 1,255 naira per meal, as of August figures, a family of four would require 150,000 naira a month to have a meal daily. Actually, you have to have a conservative estimate of the national average as 1,255 naira. So, family of four would need 150,000 naira. How much is the minimum wage again? 70,000 naira. That is yet to take off in many states. And 150,000. How much are you making? You want to use 150,000 naira to eat, conservatively, by the way. A meal, just a meal a day. All right. And low income families unable to afford basic foods. You can see the picture, a caricature of a woman, obviously with loads on the head, dragging her child along. And many Nigerians will struggle to meet the expenditures between now and 2025. Will struggle. I think they are already struggling already. That's the thing. All right, now towards 2025. 2025 is how many months again? Less than 3 months away. And we are here right now. And 1.6 million hectares of land have been inundated by flood, climate-induced issues, and insecurity, especially the latter. And recently, the former as well, 50% of fresh agricultural produce in Nigeria is lost during the post-harvest stage. I think everybody can agree with that. Because for tomatoes, vegetables, even if they struggle in the places that you don't have bandits to harvest some of these things before they are transported to the market, to the sellers. Sometimes the seller one who will transport to the bigger market. Imagine somebody from somewhere in Owada transporting it to maybe Alekuwodo market, and another middleman waiting to transport that from Alekuwodo market to Lagos. You can't imagine the kind of loss that will have been experienced by that. And court sentences teenager to 5 years imprisonment for sexual assault. That's a no-no. Nobody should be, either you're a teenager, a minor against a minor, an adult against a minor against an adult, anything assault. It doesn't have a place in our society. Moving on, Nigeria. Others may need 100 years to end extreme poverty, says World Bank. Since yesterday or 2 days ago, there has been a series of reports from World Bank, and one is, you are forced to to just ask the question, why is World Bank on our matter
Mm.
like this? One report or the other, and it's towards the negative, by the way, towards the negative. For many persons say maybe that's, sadly, maybe that's the reality.
Are you asking why World Bank is on our matter? The money you're spending. I mean, you're debtors to
Because
them.
I
You're
mean,
debtors to them. Yeah, your
the
creditors
nature,
in
right?
a way.
Yeah.
So, of course, they have they have every right to be in your business and how you spend their
As
money.
a country, I've
Exactly.
been seeing a series of reports.
You cannot be a beggar and you're forming big boy. Why?
Anyway, even okay, they will say even the US has
Yeah.
possibly virtually the biggest debt
But
stock in the
they
world.
know the capacity of the US and what the US is using the money for.
Yeah,
Well, can they say the
and the
same for your
ability to pay.
country? Can they say the same for your country?
Yeah, we are Nigeria. We are Nigeria. We are Nigeria. All right, okay. That's why I think there should be a retraction. What do you mean by your country? Where are you
Is
from again?
Nigeria not your
From me,
country?
where is your own country? Why are you referring it to me in the second person singular or plural? Are you a Libya? Let's
No,
ask.
no, you don't know. It's in the context of with which
Evelyn,
you are
right or
discussing.
right?
There's a
Where are you
way.
from?
I'm Nigerian,
Good.
full-blooded
Moving on.
Nigerian.
Maybe you are from Edo State. You are not from Nigeria. Your policies punishing Nigerians. Professional bodies tell Tinubu. Let me put that one in caps. Your policies punishing Nigerians. Professional bodies tell Tinubu. I think he knows. I bet it's because he has said, I've seen your plight. I understand, empathize with you, but I hope, I wish there was a better ways, but there are no better ways. Okay. Abbas flees 10,000 monthly upkeep for pensioners. Okay, so what is going to do about it? 10,000 upkeep for pensioners. So after he has played it, found at it, so what is it going to do? Now here, Lagos Red Line begins operations to move 500,000 passengers daily. Well, we say, better late than never. As many persons we agree, Lagos should have been on this project or on this kind of transportation plan for like the last 20 years or so as a, purported mega city. But then, here we go, 500,000 passengers, withdrawn, removed from the road. I think that would go a lot. Maybe some of these things will be eased. All right, moving on. And by the way, when we will get to the point where Ocean we have a blue line, a red line, a green line, any line, by the way, you just, I don't want to ask you because I'm not sure you are part of us here.
You have the
Now,
black line already
Power
up.
Minister denies multiple grid collapses, blames minor trip-offs. Okay, again. Power Minister denies multiple grid collapses, blames minor trip-offs. Okay, it's not a total collapse. They are just trip-offs. No wonder Evelyn wanted to deny our country or back tacitly.
No, I
But
wouldn't do
we
that.
caught her.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay, you don't have a choice. The moment you open your mouth and say, where are you from? Say you are Evelyn Ohiolei. Nigeria lie. Oh yeah, keep. Moving on, just below that, you have the men them. The way we say it, PDP, high and mighty, campaigning there at the flag of. You can see the Osun State governor conspicuously there. The Sheyi Makinde as well, and other leaders, preparing for the elections. All right, that will be all from the Guardian.
And from the Guardian, we take a journey to Nigerian Tribune. Let's see what we have there. On Nigerian Tribune, PDP governors resolve NWC crisis, with some riders here ask parties to revert to status quo. And Mawule-led Rivers Assembly declares pro-Fubara lawmaker seats vacant. Your seats already declared vacant since December 13, pro-Fubara lawmakers insist. Of course, the crisis in Rivers State has not abated, and it's the battle of the House of Assembly. I mean, different House of Assembly, the 26-member House of Assembly and the 3-man House of Assembly, declaring each other's seat vacant. And of course, I do not envy reporters at this time when they go to get any reports, because when this house sits, you have to refer to them as, a House of Assembly, River State House of Assembly. When the other house sits, you still have to refer to them as River State House of Assembly. So we have two houses of assembly in River State in a federation called Nigeria that upholds democratic principles and the rule of law. And we wonder really, truly, how democratic is our country. And, we have the judiciary in place, and there are different court orders that have upheld these houses of assembly. Amazing. All right. Still on Nigerian Tribune. PDP flags off Ondo governorship campaign as Makinde demands redeployment of state rec. PDP flags off Ondo governorship campaign as Makinde demands redeployment of state rec, with rider Babalola not Ondo state indigene, says INEC. And away from that, or your government arraigns auxiliary on 17 counts charge. Of course, the man auxiliary is still embattled at this time. What full day? Nigerians groan as prices of food items continue to rise. Experts prefer solutions to food insecurity. It's amazing, Femi. The irony that on World Food Day, to commemorate the World Food Day, Nigerians have to pay more to get access to food. And for them to eat a balanced meal, they have to even pay higher. A lot of people, I was watching a report yesterday, and, a lady was saying that she hadn't taken anything since dawn, since morning, because to buy a plate of food now, she'll have to part with 2,000 naira for just a meal. And she said she's doing POS business. How can she afford one meal for 2,000 naira? And it's not like it's something, big, something large, just the basic.
Something basic.
So she had to just make do with bread. So she just had to eat bread, fill her tummy, and wait till evening. And I said it yesterday that Nigerians are not eating, they are not striving to eat balanced diet or a balanced meal anymore. They are not concerned about the nutrients. Now at the markets, people go for the rotten tomatoes, the spoiled pepper. Nobody is concerned about whether it's good or not. They'll tell you, I'll wash it, I'll grind it, you will not know. I'll add tomato paste, it will come out well. But the danger that goes on with these food items, a lot of times we hear, oh, a particular family died after eating food and all of that. We are not paying attention to the fact that people cannot actually afford to buy good food items, standard food items anymore. It's a sad one for us as a country. But of course, we keep hoping against all odds, and we are hoping that one day in this country called our own, that food will not be a luxury anymore. It's a necessity. It's the basic necessity of life, and we should have access to it. It should be accessible, available, and affordable. All right, 2009 FGNRCU agreement. Ohiolei Ahmed at 53-member renegotiation committee. This agreement has been since 2009, and we have negotiation, renegotiation on negotiation. It is what it is. I know the number of industrial actions that ASU had to call or go on, embark on, because of this agreement, this 2009 FGN ASU agreement. Inflation hits 32.70% in September, with the riders rising inflationary trend eroding manufacturers, investors' profit margins. CPE bank recapitalization to support $1 trillion economy by 2030. This is coming from the CBN governor. And foreign reserve rises to $39.12 billion. And lastly, court orders very dark man to remove defamatory content about Falana and son. I was expecting this because the father already said, the great Femi Falana already said he will not let this slide. He's going to take it up.
Very dark man gonna learn.
Exactly, especially when it came with death threats to our son, and also arson threat to him and his chambers,
Yeah.
and he said he wasn't going to let it slide.
Right.
And now, you can't deal with, a person like Femi Falana and not expect him to use the tool of the law to,
That's what he does for a living.
to address situations.
Yeah.
So I hope Very Dark Man will be humble enough to probably, take down whatever defamatory statements. But of course, he has his own right to
I wanted to
contend
say
it
that
in
if he
court.
sees that he's wrong.
To contend it in
Yeah.
court, contend that particular order in court, and
Right.
let's see if he knows it's still right. He's on his right. I mean, it's a free world. It's rule of law. Everyone's got their own rights. But that will be all from Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Of course, that will be all for the segment. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. The program will continue. Here we go.